It's a well-kept secret that there are a whole lot of good things going on in our community all year long, but particularly during the summer. So what we're going to do is a mini-series on many of the summer camps that will be going on throughout our community. And of course, we are filming here at the beautiful Ruth Mosley Center, at which there will be a camp this summer. And this is our first of the series on summer camps, because what we want to do, we realize the importance of meaningful and productive and measurable and advantageous activities for young people. And I think it would be robbery if I didn't do what I could in exposing many of these camps and activities for young people. So for the first camp that we're going to feature on our program is the one that's going to be held here at the Ruth Mosley Center. However, this is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Haversham, and we're going to go ahead and proceed with information on this phenomenal camp that's going to be held here at the Ruth Mosley Center. And I would like to introduce first Miss Jerry McCord, who has done a phenomenal job of revitalizing and exposing this treasure that we have in our community. And not only is it involved in doing summer camps, but they also have teas and other kind of activities here, that's going to benefit the public. So I encourage everybody. I'm a little embarrassed, frankly, that behind Miss Mosley's heritage, we still have individuals in this community who are asking, well, who is that? And where is that at? So I think that it's incumbent upon all of us to familiarize ourselves with this center and become even more familiar with the camp this summer. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Ms. McCord.
Thank you, Mr. Havisham. I'm so delighted to announce that we are having our first annual Ruth Hartley Mosley Heritage Camp. I think, as Mr. Havisham said, it's so important for us to really reach out to our youth, and that's what we're trying to do. We've really taken a different spin on the summer camp. As you notice, I said Heritage Camp, and this camp is focused on our history, Macon's history, which I think is so important, and so many young people are not aware of.
Wow.
The first thing they do when they finish high school, I'm getting out of Macon, because they don't know what Macon is made of. They don't know Macon's foundation, and that's the purpose of this camp. And I really think our youth will have a different outlook and perspective on what Macon, Georgia, and its position in not only Georgia but in the nation. We've prepared to take on the challenges of being important in our nation. And I'm not going to say too much, because we do have the camp's facilitator here, but I just want to make sure that parents and young people understand the importance of this type of camp. This camp has a curriculum-based format, and everything we do is going to really kind of relate to the curriculum, making sure this is not daycare. This is camp, curriculum-based heritage camp. And I encourage families, to give us a call here at the center to get more information about the camp. Our number here is 742-6409, the Ruth Hartley Mosley Center's Summer Heritage Camp 2014. 2014. Ooh, I'm aging. I'm forgetting about. I don't want those years to come on me so fast. But summer 2014 Ruth Mosley Heritage Camp. Thank you.
And we're gonna Mr. Baba Rael.
That's correct.
Is the facilitator. Now I'm saying Mr. and Baba, but I should say Baba Rael, because Mr. is the same as Baba in his name, because the title is Baba and his name is Rael, and he's such a capable facilitator. And let me piggyback for a moment, if you would, Baba, how significant and how important it is for this camp to be focused on our heritage.
Yes.
You know, hey, just like Ruth Mosley Center, Macon, Georgia is a hidden treasure.
Very much.
There's so much history in our community, and there is so much opportunity, and there are so many things, to do in our community. So I applaud Baba and Director McCord for focusing the camp on heritage. We gotta look. We need to know our history.
Yes, sir.
We have to know our history, and I think that will contribute significantly to the improvement in this community. So, Baba, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Havisham. And thank you, Mrs. McCord, for the opportunity to facilitate this camp. We are subtitling the camp actually Macon, our story. So we're focusing on the African American tradition, the African American contributions that have come out of Macon. We'll take into account such persons as William and Ellen Craft and that wonderful escape they did out of that captivity period during the Christmas of 1848, as well as persons like William Sanders Scarborough, W.A. Rayfield, architect, and of course other persons born here. Randy Crawford was born here, and no one knows, that she was born in Macon, Georgia, but she's an international vocalist, well acclaimed all over. So we're going to be looking at all this history in Macon, coming from the arts, coming from the various professional fields, and bringing these personages to our children to help them understand just how fully impactful Macon is in the cosmopolitan world.
Right.
We may be a little spot in the middle of Georgia. It may seem like a little spot in the middle of Georgia, but the energy and the personages that have come through Macon and out of Macon are significant, and their contributions have gone worldwide, many of them. So we're going to be concentrating on those kind of stories as well as activities that will reinforce those lessons. Everything that we're going to do will be curricularly, as Mrs. McCord said, curricularly connected. We're connecting it all to the core curriculum, the strands. That is, for instance, the activities will help our children learn to listen, follow instruction, stay on task, complete tasks. All of these are behaviors that are necessary in the school system as well for their success. So we're making sure everything we do ties in, and we're doing it from the artistic side so that we're taking into account the teaching artists that are in the area, Mr. Rudy Mendez for one, Sister Winnie McQueen for another, Newton Collier will be participating, bringing music history as one of the musicians coming out of Macon, Georgia, who have played with Sam and Dave and Otis Redding and came through all those times. So we're working to bring all these together. Sister Delphine Boyne, I think she as well with her wonderful voice. She'll be doing voice and song with the children. Vincent Muhammad will be doing some music. Pilar will become doing some dancing. We'll have some Tai Chi relaxation and as well as some Taekwondo for physical fitness and those concepts.
Wow.
So we're looking to make the camp a full sort of a smorgasbord, if you will, of activities that are based but culturally enhanced and focusing on as we know, the African American contributions that have come out of Macon, Georgia, out of this unlevel playing field, but yet significant strides in humanity and the progress of citizens.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I'm gonna see if I can get me some dye, and lose some weight and go back to about 15 or 16.
Well, we need volunteers and volunteers.
I can be an old man volunteer. Give us the date and the dates and the times again.
The camp will be held June 2nd through June 27th. That's Monday through Friday for 4 weeks, 9 to 5. And the cost is $125 per week. That includes lunch and snacks. And please give us a call, 742-6409, to get detailed information about the camp.
Well, I can't think of anything that's more worthwhile than having a positive, cultural, social, academic, and very importantly, historical activity going on in our community. That's the Ruth Hartley Mosley Heritage Camp. I need to come to the camp so I can learn how to say heritage. This is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex Havisham, have taken a lot of delight in bringing you information on the Ruth Hartley Mosley Heritage Camp. Be sure to give them a call, 478-742-6409. See you at the camp.
See you at the camp.
Call to action. And I'm your host, Alex Havisham, continuing with some very, very important information that will make a difference in the community. As a matter of fact, it's my intent and my ambition to be an instrument in the community to impart valuable information, and I have several activities, going on all the time that will assist in doing that. And I guess I may as well mention it since I'm so proud of it right now. One of the activities of Alex Habersham and making call to action and Habersham promotions, and one of the things that I try to do very religiously is to provide exposure of the community as it relates to majority and minority businesses in the community through the publication of the Black Pages. And it's okay for me to bring that up on this show because one of the individual that I'm interviewing today is a part of this publication, and we're very, very appreciative. And I just want you to know that the publications are available now. They are available. So call the office if you would like one. One of the things that we did was focus on nonprofits, of which, the organization that we're going to interview today is one. So you can call the office at 478-741-1220. Just blame it on this gray hair if you saw that falls. Moving right along, and from a very, very serious perspective, I'm so happy to have with me today Miss Natalie Chambliss, who is that correct?
I go by Chambliss Beach.
Chambliss Beach. Okay, well, I want to be correct. Miss Natalie Chambliss Beach, who works with a very, very important organization called Lifelink.
Yes.
And Lifelink. And that title is significant because what I think the purpose of it is to link life, and deal with organ donations. So just introduce yourself first and tell the audience what month this is.
Well, as Mr. Habersham said, I am Natalie Chambliss Beach, and I work with the Lifelink Foundation. We are the organ procurement organization for the state of Georgia. Basically what we do is we facilitate life-saving transplants to save lives of all those people who are waiting for organ and tissue, an organ donation. Here in Georgia, more than 4,500 people are waiting right now.
Wow.
And nationally, it's more than 121,000. So what we do is we like to go out into the community and teach people about the importance of organ donation. And in April, we recognize National Donate Life Month. So National Donate Life Month. And we basically want to just honor those people who were charitable enough to give a part of themselves and become donors. As well, we want to bring a spotlight on the shortage and the need, and let people recognize that there are people walking amongst us each and every day who are hooked up on dialysis three times a week, and who want so desperately to get that organ transplant, but because there's such a shortage, the average African American waits about 7 years to get a kidney. Once they receive that kidney, their life is changed. Yes, they have to take medication, but they are able to do all the things they enjoyed before. And it's so important, and so many people don't even understand that there's a way to give. You can do a living donation of a kidney, which is the one thing that's needed most. Here in Georgia, about 95% of the people waiting are waiting for kidneys.
Okay, well, wow, that's interesting, and I want you to continue, but explain living donation.
A living donation is basically, God gave us 2 kidneys, and He designed our bodies where one kidney can be sufficient. So with that one sufficient kidney, we are able to donate another to a loved one, to a friend, to a church member, to a perfect stranger if need be. And a lot of people don't realize that they have the power to donate life even now as they live. Many people connect donation with death, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Wow. That's very important. Let me ask you a question. I think that maybe there's kind of like a stigma or fear of donating organs, because what you call that process wherein you wear a band or what have you, so to indicate, and I go back to the movie John Q. I thought that was such a wonderful movie as it relates to Denzel trying to get a kidney heart for his son. But it seems that particularly in the African American community, there is either a stigma or fear of, like if you agree to donate an organ, then because you agreed to donate an organ after you die, you're going to die again or something. Maybe it doubles up the death or something. Talk about, those reservations and why one should not be so reluctant, if you please.
Right. Yes, there are a lot of reservations within our community, and a lot of it is based on just things that have happened in the past. So there's just this general fear as it relates to being treated fairly and all of those things in the process. As far as us looking at donation from a broader perspective and understanding that by signing a donor card, it's not going to accelerate the process. It's just saying, when I'm done with this life, I am ready and willing to give life to someone else, to leave my footprint on the world by giving more of myself. So a lot of people that I come in contact with, they say to me, well, I don't want that on my license, because what if I'm in a car accident? Well, I quickly tell them, I can do away with the whole thing on your license. Just go to donatelifegeorgia.org and you can sign up. It's on the registry, it's not on your license. But beyond that, the physicians who are in the hospital to save a person's life, they are there to save a life. It is not until brain death is declared that our organization is called, and we either check the registry to see if a person has already registered, or we decide whether or not it would be appropriate to speak to the family members, the next of kin, to ask if they would like for their loved one to become a donor.
Now that's kind of new. So you're saying that if something, like 100 years from today, if I happen to pass, then, maybe my significant other, a wife or what have you, could have the authority to allow my organ to be donated?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good information, because I really didn't realize that.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why we encourage people to talk to their loved ones, talk to their family members about their desires, their wishes, because it's so difficult for people to think about it when they're in the middle of the storm. And I can personally attest to that when you're in a personal tragedy and someone asks you, do you want your loved one to become a donor because they hadn't already declared, it's so difficult to think about it fully and in a broad sense, because you're so grief-stricken.
Right.
So it's so much better to let that part be over and done with by talking to your loved ones, those people closest to you, so that you know what their wishes are.
Okay, now, say again the process wherein a person can agree to donate an organ, and then we're going to ask you, we're going to localize it a little bit.
Okay.
But just explain to the listening and viewing audience how that process works.
Okay, there are multiple ways to register. You can go to the driver's license services and ask that it be placed on your license. Often when you renew or when you go to get a license, they will ask, are you interested in becoming an organ donor? The other way, as I said, you can go online to donatelifegeorgia.org and register that way. When you go online, you can specify what you would like to give. So you can say, I only want to give my heart, my eyes, what have you, but you can specify your gift. The other thing is we love to have area donation stations set up. And this month we will have several set up between Kroger's and Walmart's and things of that nature, and we would love to sign people up in that manner as well.
So you can just go to one of these places and say, hey,
Well,
my name is Alex, and I want to be an organ donor.
we're going to have stations set up on Saturday afternoons at various locations throughout the community. So if you see us, don't hesitate to come. If you're interested, you can definitely sign your donor card at that time.
Where can one find where these stations are throughout this community?
At this point, we don't have it on our website, but I will make sure that I get the information to you so you can broadcast it. Also, we're always looking for opportunities to work with churches, civic organizations, any type of group that has visibility, just so that we can help get the word out there of the importance of organ and tissue donation.
So you will go to a church and talk to
Absolutely.
the singles ministry or the seniors ministry
It doesn't
about the importance of. Now, do we have any local, and I'm sure that, talk a little bit about some success stories. I mean, you could change the names if you wish, but have we had any success in Central Georgia with organ donation?
Yes, we have.
People who received them?
Yes, we have a great deal of success. We put out a calendar each year that shows Faces of Transplantation.
Wow.
And that calendar highlights people, and typically I will submit people from the local area to be highlighted in that calendar. And it's distributed here in Florida and Puerto Rico. And we've had Coach Chip Malone from Warner Robins High School. He was once the head basketball coach. He was highlighted one year. This past year, Mia Robbins was highlighted. She's a donor mom. Her young son passed away, and she chose to donate his organs because she felt that, her son passing away at such a young age, it meant so much to give life to someone else because she felt that was something he would have wanted. So there are a lot of cases that amongst us and people around us who've been touched by organ and tissue donation one way or another, but we don't always know that. And it's important for us to try to put a local face on organ donation and the need and people being charitable enough to give.
Right. You talked about, although the majority or organ, if I can call it that, the main organ that's needed would be the kidney, but you also talked about other parts.
Yes.
What are the other things that can be donated to donate life?
Okay, well, in order to, organ donors, basically what they're giving are hearts, their lungs, liver, pancreas, small intestine, and the kidneys. As far as tissue donation, that can be the eyes, the skin, which is used in severe burn cases, and bone, some of the bone. And basically, tissue is more life enhancing when you talk about someone who's had, let's say, a hip replacement or knee replacement, something of that nature. Sometimes people will have implants, dental implants. Those are typically created by the bone that's being donated. So there are so many things to give, and a lot of people come to me and they say, well, I'm too old, or I have health conditions, or what have you, so I can't donate. That's not necessarily true. Each case is looked at individually, and there are a series of medical tests and labs and things that are done to determine if a donor, what is viable, what can be given. So oftentimes we have people who have registered to be an organ and tissue donor, and they end up only being able to donate maybe one item rather than all, which is fine. But one full organ donor can save 8 lives,
Wow.
and an organ and tissue donor can save dozens more or enhance dozens more. So it's very important.
Where else can one, and I'm sure, and I want to encourage, the community to be more aware of this process and what it means. And there again, particularly, African Americans, some things in which we lag behind, we don't have to. So I think this is an area where we can help to save somebody's life in our community and to enhance somebody's life. So I certainly want to encourage and enhance that. And I see you fixing to ask me, well, are you gonna sign the card? I thought you were.
Well, I assumed you had already.
Yeah, okay. That's a good assumption. Moving right along, is there a video or is there a source of additional information that a person can go to and learn more about, you know,
Absolutely.
the process that you were explaining?
Yes, absolutely. You can go to organdonor.gov. That is full of information about organ donation and the statistics and so forth. But locally, more locally, I would say you can go to lifelinkfound.org, which is our website, and it gives you a lot of information about what we're doing here more locally. When I say locally, statewide and so forth, and just our missions and our goals. But there is a lot of information out there. There are YouTube videos that people have done if you just put in organ and tissue donation. And there's been a lot of young people who've gotten involved. We do a college challenge each year between Fort Valley State, Albany State, and Savannah State. Savannah State won this past year. But it's a great way to get the word out there and to engage young people when they're still very impressionable and they haven't built up any negativity towards organ and tissue donation, and we're able to give them the facts. So whatever decision they make as it relates to it is based on fact, not fiction. We're not trying to make people, we just want people to have all the information needed.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Miss Natalie Chambliss Beach, who works very efficiently for Lifelink of Georgia, who is talking to us about the significance, importance, and the history of organ donation. And she's also educating us on there are just dozens of items that can be donated to help enhance somebody else's life. So I'm going to let you end it, Miss Natalie, by giving maybe a phone number or some contact information and giving a final word of encouragement to individuals out there in the listening and viewing audience to at least strongly and seriously consider being an organ donor.
Absolutely. In order to reach me locally, you can dial 478-390-2212 to schedule a talk, or if you're having a health fair or anything of that nature that you would like for Lifelink to be a part of, please feel free to call me. Also, you can go to lifelinkfound.org for more information. When we leave this earth, we want people to know that we were here. The best way of doing that is to give a portion of yourself. I know that we all have the ability to affect change. There's no way better than to extend life to someone else once we're done with this one that God's given us. Thank you.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for that great information, and I'm sure that this interview will impact some individuals to call your number and consider very strongly donating organs. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Thank you very much. Have a great day.